After getting Alfred and Rupert into bed, I leave the castle. The forest is dark, as usual. It's difficult to tell whether it's day or night. If I follow straight along this path, it'll take at least a day to make it to the village.
Hey, is that you, Tatiana?
Huh? You're the chief's son, aren't you? What are you doing out here?
I'm looking for you. Well, no one's heard a peep from you since you went into the forest, so we thought maybe you'd been captured by vampires.
Actually, about that, I found out that the vampires had absolutely nothing to do with either the plague or the demon attacks.
What? You can't be serious. It was obviously the vampires that did it.
We can't just assume that. I'm going to go tell the truth to the villagers. But right at that moment... Huh?
Ah!
As I watch, the man's arm is split open and blood spurts out. The man loses his balance and falls to the ground. Are you all right? I try to run over to the man in a panic, but before I can, the arms wrapped around my stomach make that impossible.
Do you take me for a fool, trying to sneak out while I'm asleep? Weren't you the one who pleaded to stay, Tatiana?
Whoa, wait. Are you a vampire? Tatiana, what's going on here?
This witch came to my castle and chose to stay with me of her own volition. I am Tatiana's master now. I have no intention of returning her to a helpless human like you.
What? That's insane!
The man's face becomes tinged with despair.
Well, I think that's enough. Now die.
No! I won't let you hurt him! I frantically resist and escape Harold's grasp, then stand firmly in front of him. I'll deal with this! Run!
Huh?
The man totteringly stands up, then runs away without a word.
How pathetic. If he was such a coward to run away with his tail between his legs, he never should have set foot in the forest in the first place. Did you flee the castle in order to meet with that man?
Why are you asking me that?
Answer me.
You seem awfully upset. Your usual composure is gone. The answer is no. I ran away from the castle in order to return to my village. Harold smiles mockingly, then lets go of my hand.
After all your bolstering, I didn't realize you'd try to leave after just a few days. It was all just talk after all.
My chest hurts at the sadness in his voice. Uh-oh. Looks like Harold's gotten more attached to me than I thought he would. Harold, I came here in search for the source of the plague that's going around my village. The villagers thought it came from vampires, so I went to find out if that was true or not. But after spending time with you and the other vampires, I realized it was false. So I wanted to go back to my village to explain that to everyone. I hadn't thought about what I would do after that. But since you seem to have taken a liking to me, maybe I could go back and stay at the castle again.
Suit yourself.
Harold furrows his brow in a frown, then turns and walks off. Ever since that day, little by little, Harold's attitude softens. I naturally end up spending more time with him, and I notice that a part of me starts to feel comfortable around him. Despite originally thinking about going back to my village, since I was able to get Humphrey's assistance, I instead remain at the castle and focus on creating a magic cure for the plague. Thanks to Humphrey, I've come up with a prototype. The magic medicine will soon be finished, and once it is, I will bring the medicine back to my village and tell everyone that Harold and the other vampires had no connection to the plague. Or at least, that was my plan. However, reality isn't so pleasant. Harold, is that true? Everyone really thinks that you and I are, lovers, and that we...
Betrayed your village? Yes. The man I hurt in the forest is telling everyone that you joined forces with a vampire, me, and spread the plague.
I guess I really should go back to the village once. I have a magic cure now, even if it's just a prototype. If I give them this and explain what happened, they might listen to me.
You'd go back even knowing the risks. and I can't understand that. There's a much easier way, don't you think?
What?
If you go back to the source, I'm the one at fault. It was my words and actions that created this situation. If you gave me over to the villagers, at least you would be spared. And yet, you don't.
Don't be silly. Obviously, I could never do that. I don't want to sacrifice you.
I feel exactly the same way. If I might lose you like this, I'd rather lock you up in the castle. Predator and prey. That's what our relationship used to be. It's almost laughable how things have turned out, if I do say so myself.
Harold.
And yet I fell in love. I came to love you.
If I choose Harold now, there's no going back. I know that. And yet, I fell in love with you too, even as a vampire. I can't lie about my feelings. When Harold's lips come down to meet mine, I close my eyes and accept the kiss. After discussing the situation with Harold, I decide to bring not a prototype, but the finished product of the magic cure for the plague to my village. Humphrey and Raymond have reportedly gone to subdue the demons that attacked the village. Once the cure is finished, the village will be saved. Then I can be with Harold from now on. I put my cheek to Harold's chest as he sleeps beside me and let out a slow breath. Everything's just about to turn out perfectly. So why do I feel so nervous?
You're up awfully early.
Sorry. Did I wake you?
Don't worry about it. Is there something bothering you?
No, I just woke up because I was cold. So, Harold, will you warm me up?
I guess I have no other choice.
Wanting to touch him for as long as possible, even the clothes on my body start to feel like an obstacle blocking his touch. When I untie the string on my clothes, Harold's grin deepens.
You want me to touch you that badly, huh?
Yes, I want you. Each and every second that I spend with Harold is precious. I wish this moment would never end. I make that wish inside my heart again and again. However, a few days later, I have a premonition. I see myself being burned by the people of my village and dying. That premonition becomes a reality. Just as the completion of the magic medicine is within sight, we get word of villagers coming to invade the castle. I see the approaching lights of torches for myself, and I feel filled with determination. Alfred and Rupert are here at the castle too. They're still so young. I can't let those villagers get inside. And so, I show myself to the villagers, ignoring Harold's desperate attempts to stop me. I give them the prototype of the medicine and attempt to explain myself, but the villagers react just as I'd imagined, and I'm captured and burned at the stake. As my consciousness fades, in my mind I picture two young boys, one sweet and blonde-haired, one troublemaker with blue hair. And the face of my dearest love. When I told Harold I was going to my village, the look on his face was almost laughably pitiful, as if he were close to bursting into tears. I realized painfully well just how strongly he cared about me. I pray that in exchange for my life, peace will come to the villagers' hearts. And I pray for happiness for Harold, who loved me, and for all of his family. Thinking that I